What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and today I understand what's going on, or how do I say it? You guys are probably saying, what is going on here? I thought you were probably going to do the other what ifs, but somebody kind of reminded me that I also have other what ifs that I have to do, and yeah, I haven't actually been doing all of them. I've been just doing like these and then just keep skipping to another one and to another one. So I thought, hey, might as well bring back some of the other ones that I have. And then I'll just probably be doing a lot of the older ones, so that way I can just get that finished with, and that way you guys won't be waiting for another part. So this is what if Deku was the son of Baki. I think this is part 6 to it. And oh shit. And yeah, pretty much Deku is going to be in the the USJ festival. And since Deku got first place, he has to go in front of the stands and says this. What's it called? Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Everybody's saying, like, everybody's like, oh yeah, we're doing good. And Deku's all like, all right, so here's the thing. My family's here, and I have to do my very best. But because I'm going to go all out, due to the fact that I want to see all of you go all out, I'm going to beat all of you either way. So, pretty much that's it. And since my family is here, yeah, this means that you guys have no chance in getting first place besides me. Toga's all like, yeah. Kirashima was like, shush, 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 shush. They might know. They might know. She's probably saying, like, they might know we're going out with him. Listen, just not get into the center of attention. And Toga's like, but he's our man. And Kirashima was like, yeah, I understand that, but right now is not the time. It's like, think of it like this. These are a bunch of ants, and Deku's an anteater. And everybody's like, wait a minute, did she just call us ants? And Toga's like, yep, she did. She's also my girlfriend and his girlfriend. The three of us are dating, and they're like, so not only does he have what's called first place, not only is he what's called cocky, but he has two gorgeous girlfriends as well. Oh yeah, they're roaring with like anger and hatred. And Deku's like, wow, all these people are starting to get mad at me. This is actually kind of fun. This is too fun. And then he summons his bloodlust, which kind of calms them down. And they're like, whoa, sheesh, I think we messed with the wrong guy here. Yujiro, Yujiro, Jack, Deku, and Inko are all there. And yeah, pretty much Deku is the one who's going to have to fight. And yeah, they decided to see like what this kid's made of, even though they know what he's made of. They just want to see him in action. So they all decided to go to Japan. Well, Yuichiro and Jack did. Yujiro was already in Japan, but anyway. The sports festival begins with the race. And Deku jumps up and down, up and down, up and down. But here's the thing. He only has what's called a pair of shorts on. He took off the rest of his clothes. And everybody sees how jacked this dude is. And they're all like, was it really a good idea to just yell at him? Hold on. They're all thinking that, yeah, we shouldn't. I think that we messed with the wrong dude here. And Deku's like, all right, I'm ready to go. And 3, 2, 1, Deku just blitzes everybody. He goes running around, jumping from the walls to make sure he's not hitting anyone. Then he sees what's called one of the robots, and he's thinking, ah, crap, just get out of my way. And he kicks the freaking robot in the torso, breaking into acting like an arrow and shooting through the robot. And this is when the robot breaks, and Kirashima was like, yeah, we need to step up our game. And the, what's it called, Kirishima's like, I'm way ahead of you. She took some of Ida's blood and says, all right, good, I got some engines. I'm just gonna keep running. And she starts running fast. Kirishima's like, oh, crap, that sucks. And she's thinking, oh, I just gotta push it. I gotta push my body to its limits. And yeah, she's pretty much doing well, and Toga's there now, so pretty much she's doing well as using Ida's blood. But remember, it's not for long. So here's the thing. Bakugo and Todoroki are, Bakugo and Todoroki are still like, how do I say this? They're still like close to the entrance, but like far away from the entrance. Deku's already made it to the first obstacle, just jumping through platform to platform. And this is when they're all like, holy crap, this kid has an amazing jump. And Deku's like, amazing? Yeah, this is pretty average to me. But anyway, I should just keep going. Running even faster. And then there's the bombs, or how do I say it? The bombs? Yeah. The bombs, and how else would I say it? He's just like hitting the ground so hard with his feet that the bombs are just exploding. And even if they aren't exploding and one goes up to him, he's just brushing it off. Just running as fast as he can now. With the adrenaline pumping through him, he makes it to the finish line first. While it takes actually probably another good 5 minutes for second and third. Yeah, then it's actually Toga, since she's using what's called Recipial Burst. Or at least a weakened version of that. Kirishima's still getting it as well. But she's much more tired out. And Toga is kind of tired out too, due to the fact that Recipial Burst does take a lot of stamina out of her. Or out of Ida's body, or something like that. So yeah, pretty much both of them are tired. I think it's mostly due to the fact that... Get the heck out, kid. Ah, sheesh. I'm sorry, you guys. But anyway, Deku runs, and... Oh no, he doesn't run. He's just sitting down, just waiting, meditating, because that's pretty much what he likes to do. So... everybody sees that he's first place, and they're all like, okay, so now what else? And that's when they do the Cavalry battle. Now, Deku doesn't pick Uraraka for the light stuff, especially Mei, but she does have a feel. She grabs Deku's body. It's like, whoa, these muscles are toned to perfection. And Kirashima and Toga are like, listen here, you little tramp. There's no way you're going to lay your hands or your claws on our man. With Kirashima having, like, her, what's called, her hardening form, what's called sticking, like, something to her, like a knife. And Toga actually grabbing one of her, like, hidden blades and says, yeah, if you do anything like that, I'm going to have to cut you up. So, yeah, they're pretty much more defensive of him. And they've learned to, they're okay, they're like a little more comfortable around like Yujiro or Baki when they show their immense presence to him. But anyway, Deku is right there just saying, all right, the Cavalry battle. And everybody's looking at Deku with just hatred, like, okay, that's the guy we have to, that's the guy who we have to take the headband from. And Deku's all like, oh, crap. Well, I knew this was going to happen. So, Toga, Kirashima, you two want to join me? And the guys are like, wait a minute, you can't just bring your girlfriends. And like, Deku's like, wait, why not? And the guy is all like, oh, yeah, he technically can. Well, we're screwed. And Deku's like, okay, so how do you guys want to do this? Kirashima and Toga are like, well, since you're first place, we're gonna have to carry you. I can drink some of your blood. And Deku's like, no. First of all, you can't control my body's full potential. Second of all, this is going to take a good... I don't know how long it took. Let's just say it took 10 minutes. which sounds like it's long, but it really isn't. And let's just say, freaking Kirishima's like, so what if I can carry you both, or Togami can carry you, and I can use my unbreakable or my hardening mode to handle the weight. And Deku's like, man, that won't work either. And this is when Deku's like, wait a minute, Kirashima, come over here. You too, Toga. And Toga's like, oh, okay. And Deku carries them both, one on each hand, up in the air. And Toga says, or no, Deku says, do you have Bakugo's quirk? And Toga says, yeah. Or, do you have Bakugo's blood from that time? Toga says yes, because she, what's called, well, how you say it? While fighting Katsuki, or no, not fighting Katsuki. When Katsuki was losing blood, Toga kind of collected it by saying, here, let me wipe this off of you. I was like, yes, I got some blood collection on me. Or, yeah, you know how Toga is most of the time. And she actually asked, freaking, what's her face? Kirashima, if she could have some of her blood in order for this to work. And she's all like, oh, yeah, sure. So Toga now has hardening and also freaking explosions. So if one doesn't work, she'll use probably the other one. So it's 3, 2, 1, go, and give me a second here. So anyway, like I was saying, Deku is in the cavalry battle, and this is when everything goes to plan, or everything happens. Deku starts running away from all the people, just trying to make sure the headband is still there. And when Deku needs to, he throws them up in the air, starts kicking, or starts charging through, what's called the horses, or the people, and basically either knocking them all out or occupying them, while at the same time making sure that these two girls aren't going to fall and, lose. Which Deku can technically do. He's done a lot more, so throwing the Nomu, doing other things, fighting Yujiro. I think he could probably do that. But a lot more things happen. Manetta actually throws some the sticky balls at freaking Deku's feet, and Deku tries to just pick it up, and he's like, oh man, this kind of sucks. This is when he just jumps up in the air with what's called Toga and Kirashima in hand, and basically breaking the floor itself. This happens. Manetta sees what's going on, and basically Deku runs to them. Sue trying to grab the headband, but Deku just, how do I say this? Oh man, this does not sound... Okay, so what happens is this. He just grabs the mouth or the tongue with his teeth, but not hard. He grabs it and makes sure it's tight on there. And he's basically charging through them. Let going Sue's tongue. And he with his teeth grabbing the freaking headband. Sue is kind of embarrassed because this is not this is the first time somebody's that kind of thing. But anyway, Deku just goes around charging in with how do I say it? With a freaking wooden, or not wooden, with some, how do I say it? With concrete. I don't actually know what the material was when Manetta threw it on the ground, but whatever it was let's just say it was a kind of rock or stone or something like that. But anyway, Deku's just running away, Bakugo trying to chase him, and Todoroki trying to chase him as well. Bakugo gets distracted with Monoma, and it's now Deku versus Baki. Son. Deku. Nice save. But anyway, Todoroki tries to use his ice on him, but it doesn't actually work. Deku's just dodging and moving around fast, running away, Nobody can actually catch up to him, including the horsemen or the people carrying them, mostly due to the fact Deku's running at fast speeds or trying to. But this is when he tries to like launch an attack using Recipio Burst, seeing if Todoroki can get it, but he can't, due to the fact that Deku just freaking did how do I say it? What was he going to use? I know what it's called, but you know the Matrix move? He does that, holding the two of them, saying, "Don't hit your head," and basically Toga hits her head. And he says, "Ow, that kind of hurts." And Deku says, "I told you to make sure you don't hit your head." I'll look at it afterwards. But anyway, let's go. Deku says, "Okay, Toga, this is the final battle, or it's about to get close to time. Use your freaking use Bakugo's blood." Toga says, "All right," and she starts using her Bakugo's blood. What's called becoming another Bakugo. Bakugo sees this and he's like, "Oh, there's no way I'm going to let this trap just do that to me." And Deku hears this and says, "All right, Toga, just make sure it's painful and fast." Toga says, "All right," and she just flies up in the air. So does Bakugo. Both of them using a freaking blast towards each other, pushing each other back. Deku's like, "Oh man." And he just starts running to a freaking Toga because she's falling. Her not actually knowing how his quirk her knowing how it works, but her not actually always using not using Bakugo's quirk to make sure she flies. So when she does it, Deku catches her and she says, "My hero." And Deku says, yes, but right now is not the time. Now, the time is already up. And he's like, "Oh, wait, I guess there wasn't any more time." But, yeah, pretty much it right there. So now it's time for the, what's called, fight thing to happen. Everything happens the same, except for, hold on. Anyway, the battles usually go the same way. Or, no, the one-on-one fights go the same way, except for Deku's and what's called Kirishima's. And since Toga's there, it's much more different. Let's just say, how do I say it? Who's the weakest one? Let's say Sero. It was Toga versus Todoroki. With that happening, Toga dodging most of the ice that Todoroki's using. Her trying to get closer and closer and closer, but her not realizing that Toga not realizing that Todoroki can use an ice pillar. He was just using ice, like ice hits, or trying to use ice attacks, but not full, or not like a full attack. So she dodges, basically trying to get him, and she's basically iced up. Mostly, she has a bit of frostbite on her, or around her body. And it says, "Oh, this is so cold. What the heck?" And Deku's like, "Oh, jeez, Toga. Well, you did your best." And that's pretty much pretty much it right there. She goes, and she says, "There's only one way to help me." And Deku's like, "Wait, what is it?" Her is like, "A kiss from one true love." And Deku's like, "All right, Toga, come here. And they start kissing, and the audience is just like screaming because Deku just landed in front of her, or jumped like how Yujiro Hanma would like just jump out of into the stadium. That's how he would probably do it. And him saying, "Okay, let me just get you out of this." Him punching through the freaking ice, breaking it. Her having some ice around her. And Deku's like, "Give me a second." Him rubbing his hands to the point where it's super hot, and just like melting the ice around her. And he says, "Come here." And he's carrying her, and she says, "My hero." And Deku's like, "Oh, yes, 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 I understand, I'm a hero." Because Deku just started kissing her while she was in ice. So it's like, everybody's like, wait a minute, is he going to save her? Or is this a make-out session? Or what of it? Deku's like, don't worry, Todoroki, you'll get yours. Because it's like, even though it's still a fight between those two, it's going to be a fight between Deku and Todoroki. Now, the whole thing happens with Deku versus, how you say, Shinzo. Deku was like, okay, so what do I do? Do I just punch him? Do I kick him? And Shinzo says, hey, what time is it? And Deku's like, what time is it? I don't know. That's when he gets mind controlled. But here's the thing: if you guys haven't watched the Baki first season, you guys won't get this. But Deku's mind and mentality now is under control, or is controlled. But his fighting spirit and his body won't be responding to it. It's basically like Deku is still under the control, and he's basically hearing him, but his body is just basically not hearing him. It's going towards Shinzo, and what's called Shinzo sees this, and he's like, turn around. Deku just walking, and him just saying, turn around now. Deku's just going and going and going. This is when Deku's, feels Shinzo's chest, and he just pushes him full force, pushing him into the ground. And Deku picks him up and throws him off the ring. Shinzo is already passed out, so there's no like moment where Shinzo's like, "Oh my, I had a front the whole time." No. Never mind. I'm not going to sing. And yeah, basically that's it. Now with Kirashima versus Tetsu, it pretty much goes one-sided. Kirashima always fighting with Deku. Yeah, Kirashima always fighting with Deku, always making, or her unbreakable form, how you say it, or not, what's it called? Oh man, I keep forgetting. Her fighting Tetsu for a while, him saying that you're good, and her saying that I guess you're okay. My boyfriend's much more stronger than you. And this is when she says, but this is not the time right now. I'm going to have to go kick it up a notch. And she now runs at him using a kind of weird technique, which when her whole body is soft, she goes faster. But the moment it hits hardness, and what's called her hardening form awakens, it basically acts much more faster and much more stronger at the singularity point, pushing Tetsu off. Now, there's no freaking arm wrestling thing, so it's pretty much normal. She goes to the other round, and yeah. Now, Deku's like, what's called? Look, Kirashima, you won. That's nice. She's coming up and says, yeah, I did pretty good. Him patting her on the head, just keep rubbing her head and saying, there, you did well. You too, Toga. Kirishima's kind of like, yeah, I did. Her blushing. Toga is pretty much like a cat right now, just getting trying to get every feeling of love out of Deku. And Deku's like, okay, so what now? Whose turn is it? Him waiting for his turn to be next, but he knows he's going to fight Todoroki. And Deku is like, alright, so I'm just going to wait. And Todoroki's not having that talk with Deku, saying, are you the... Oh, wait a minute here. Ah, crap. I don't know if I said this already, but I think Kirishima's going to have one for all. Hold on. Oh, jeez. Give me a second here. Okay, so I believe I did actually give Kirishima the freaking all for one. Oh no, one for all quirk. So this just means now that Deku is going to probably fight her. Or no, wait. It's Kirashima, and then versus Bakugo. Then after that, it's Deku versus Todoroki. So this means that, yeah, there's going to be a bit more of a change here. This means I was going to let Deku fight Kirashima, but I wanted also to have Deku fight freaking, how you say it? I wanted to let Deku fight Todoroki. So here's the thing. Deku, oh no. It's Deku versus Bakugo. Bakugo tries to eat, no. Sheesh. Hold on. It's Kirashima versus Bakugo. Now, here's the thing. With Deku's training, as well as Bakugo having one for all, that means that Kirashima can use what's called 8% to, how you say it, already 8% to, how you say it, a full cowling. So when she fights Bakugo, Bakugo is going to be a little more pushed back now, or a lot more pushed back, having to dodge Kirishima's punches and having to dodge her kicks. Bakugo trying to always keep blasting her, but with her hardening mode as a defense mechanism, it's not working, and basically Bakugo has to keep getting punched and punched and punched by Kirashima. Kirashima tries to freaking go and hit Bakugo, but Bakugo is using now more of his explosions, pushing her back. So every time she runs at him, he just pushes her back. Pushes her back, and again and again. But with Kirishima's, how you say it, full cowl, she can get to him easier. So this means that now there is just a pushing and, how you say it, it's basically a push and pull situation. Kirishima pulling herself to Bakugo, and Bakugo pushing her away from him. This keeps happening, and the fact that Kirishima is still getting hurt, while Bakugo is just basically losing stamina, she is still trying to wait it out. But here's the problem. She can't actually hold on for long, or that form. Because she's already fought Tetsu, making her a bit more weaker. And in the Cavalry battle, pretty much nothing happened in the Cavalry battle. Basically Deku is just waiting for her to beat him, but since she is losing slowly but surely, Bakugo is trying to push full force, and basically his arms keep hurting, but he's pushing. Kirishima still trying to go to him, actually grabbing him and trying to slam him, but Bakugo uses explosions as well to try to get to change the trajectory of his movements, basically moving her aside and exploding her at the back on her backside, on her backside, meaning that Kirishima actually gets out of the ring face first, and instead of actually her or Kirishima being knocked out, she just gets pushed. And the crowd cheers, but Deku sees what Bakugo's how angry Kirishima is. She always believed that she could that she was the weak one, but with Deku's help, she got stronger. But even now, even Bakugo can still beat her, and she even has one for all. So her pride is kind of broken right now, and because Bakugo keeps laughing, Kirishima wants to go, but instead of Deku, sheesh, I hurt my freaking chin. Crap. Man, that actually hurts. But anyway, instead of her going and wanting to sucker punch Bakugo, it's Yujiro that stops her and says, "Listen here, kid. You out of your the other chick, you basically held up on your own. Even when you got hurt, you still kept pushing. As weak as you still are, you didn't give up in the very end. So, just stick with your boyfriend right now. Grabbing her freaking arm, flinging her, throwing her to Deku, and he's like, wait, what's happening here? Him catching her, but him eventually, since she got thrown to Deku caught her, but he flew as well to the freaking wall. And Deku's like, ah, crap. I thought he was much more nicer. Baki in the stands like, Dad, why did you do it? Yuichiro's like, still not going easy on a child, I see. Well, this will be interesting now. It's the Ice Kid, right? This is when Baki's like, yes, Grandpa, it is. This is going to be one to remember it by. Or this is one to remember. And Yujiro's jumping back to the audience or to his seat, and he's like, you guys know that me and Baki fighting was one of the most epic battles in history, right? That Todoroki kid is probably going to have to, step it up in order to, at least come close to our fight. And how does he know their names? Well, basically, like I said, Yujiro isn't an idiot. Like, believe me, he's very smart. It's just he uses bronze over brains most of the time. So, Yuichiro actually going and... what is it called again? I forgot, but yeah, pretty much I forgot what was going to happen. But we're just going to go on to the next part. Since they're already done talking, Endeavor talks to Deku and says, well, Hanma, it seems that you have you have the honor of fighting my son. And Deku's like, the honor of fighting your son? And he says, yeah, hold on. Okay, so now, Deku's still talking to Endeavor, and he's saying, well, I'm a Hanma. So that means, by technicality, as being the strongest families in the world, you have the honor of talking to us. And Endeavor's like, don't be so cocky, brat. Just because you're the son of what's called Baki Hanma, and your grandfather is Yujiro Hanma, and your great-grandfather is Yuichiro Hanma, and you also have an uncle from America who's named Jack Hanma, that really doesn't matter. You may be the first, what's called strongest family, but don't think you're the top. You're in the top 10, or you're higher than us, because you're going to fight my son. And since, he has his ice, his ice, and he also has his fire, but he never uses it, I was thinking if you could probably fight him at his full potential. And Deku says, what do you mean his full potential? And Endeavor says, yes, he never uses his fire. So, if he uses both his ice and fire, that means you're fighting him at 100%. And Deku's like, yeah, I'm planning to fight him at 100%. But you have bigger fish to fry. And this is when he sees Yujiro Hanma behind him. Deku says, Grandpa, please don't kill him at least. And he says, alright, so now I'm off fighting Todoroki. And yeah, pretty much that happens. Now, while Deku's in the ring first and waiting for Todoroki, Endeavor sees is talking to, is talking to Yujiro and saying, well, look at the cat dragged in. Using fire, I see, as always. And Endeavor's like, yeah, whatever. Always using that pristine strength of yours. But think about this. Fire can melt bone. What's called fire has the power to melt bone. And this is when Yujiro's like, oh, yes. Fire this, fire that. You're too hot-headed for your own good. You're so cocky that it's unbearably laughable. And Endeavor just stands up to him and says, what are you going to do about it? Having his hand right there off on Yujiro's, having his hand placed on Yujiro's shoulder, having some of the Yujiro's clothing smoke up due to the fact that Endeavor's kind of burning it. And Yujiro's like, look, just because I say you're the number 2 hero doesn't mean you get any special treatment from me. But since your son is fighting my son, or since your son is fighting my grandson, I'll give you the benefit. I'll be nice for once and not hurt you due to the fact I want you to see how Deku fights your son. Endeavor's like, alright, what happens if he loses? And Yujiro's like, oh, so we're betting now. Well, let's just say if he loses, which, like I said, is a very, it's basically 0-0. Deku and Endeavor's like, what do you mean 0-0? And Yujiro's like, well, for the possibilities of your son beating Deku, it's basically at the lowest point. So, yeah, you're going to have a strong son like him, or you're going to have. He's basically saying this: Todoroki better be at least better than you if he wants to have a chance of beating Deku. If he even wants to have the tiniest chance in hell. And if he loses, then guess what? He will apologize. You know how Yujiro is. He will do whatever he says for a whole month. You know what? Not even for a whole month. He says this: I'll do it for the rest of my life. And Endeavor's like, look, I understand you're strong and your son or your grandson is strong, but that doesn't mean my son is weak at all. Yeah. But if you lose, you're going to have to make a public announcement as the number 2 hero. And this is when Endeavor's like, what is it? You have to go on TV on behalf of all the heroes as the number 2 hero and say that the Hanmas are the strongest in the world. And Endeavor's like, wait, what? This is when Todoroki is right there, about to fight Deku, and he's like, oh, jeez. You win, I serve you forever. I win, you have to make a public announcement saying that the Hanmas are the strongest one in the whole entire world. Nobody can come close to them. And this is when Endeavor's like, he's kind of shivering because what he sees is Yujiro. What Endeavor sees in total is freaking Yujiro, as a giant. So this means that Deku, Endeavor's like thinking his son he either is stupid or his son must be the strong. must be stronger than anybody that his son has ever faced off against. Basically saying that he has a lot of like, the stakes are high right here, because we all know that Endeavor's not going to automatically say somebody is the best unless they really are. So hold on. Deku is starting to talk to what's called Todoroki, while Endeavor says, "All right, deal." Him shivering, and he's like saying, "Why do I feel so cold right now? Why do I feel so scared? Is it because of this Hanma man?" Because he doesn't actually know the full history, but he's heard of the legendary Hanmas. So yeah, pretty much he's going to have a rude awakening. So now the fight continues with Deku versus Todoroki. Deku says, "Look, you fought my girlfriend, and you basically iced her. You could have just pushed her away, done anything like that, but you decided to go full force on her, knowing that she didn't even knowing that her quirk requires blood, and you didn't even fight her at full force. Well, you kind of did, but well, that's your style. The way I see it, I'm going to have to fight you full force as well. So I want you to do something for me." Todoroki's like, "What?" Deku's like, "I want you to use your fire side as well." Todoroki's saying, "Did my dad set you up for this?" And Deku's like, kind of. I actually wanted to fight you full force for a long time. You seem very strong." And, oh, geez, she's up. Anyway, Deku's all like, Deku's like saying, pretty much, "I want to fight you at your strongest, since last time I remember you didn't use your fire, you just basically used your ice." Todoroki's like, "It doesn't matter if I'm using my ice. My fire. My ice is strong enough to beat you." And this is when Deku's like, "Alright, fine. Then I won't use all my strength as well." Todoroki's like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Deku's all like, "You heard me. I'm not going to use my ice. My full strength." And Yujiro's like, "Cut the crap, kid. Just fight him." And Deku's like, "No. I'm not going to fight somebody if they're not going to give me everything they got. You told me that yourself, Dad. Grandpa." Baki's like, "Yeah, you kind of told me the same thing too." And Yuichiro's like, "Yeah, I remember him saying that twice." And Yujiro's like, whatever. Fine, you made your point." And Deku's like, "Alright, thanks." And this is when Todoroki's like, "But you can't do that." And Deku's like, "What makes you think you could? If you're going to half-ass this, I am as well." And Todoroki does this whole speech about his parents, and the reason why he got his scar. And Deku's like, "Well, I'm going to show you something as well." Because here's the thing, he took off his shirt. That doesn't mean he showed off his abs. He basically showed off his arms and all that stuff. But this is when he takes off his pants, and he basically has, how do I say it? Something, I don't really know, something like this right here. Yeah, he would have something like this. But now, he says, "Look at me right now, Todoroki. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father have done all this to me. And it's kind of like, there's so much scars on it." And Endeavor sees this, and he's like, "What the hell? Who would do this to their child?" And this is like, "You have no right to talk. Don't talk to me like that." And yeah, pretty much everybody sees this, and Yujiro's laughing, says, They don't understand how we fight, how true fighters are. Baki's all like, oh yes, 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 true fighters. Whoopee. Yujiro's like, yeah, whatever. They're having, here's the thing, if you guys don't know what I'm doing, they're having a much more much more friendlier relationship than, how you say it, than what happened like in the Baki series, due to the fact that Yujiro is happy due to the fact that he's now here. So yeah, watch part 2 or part 1 to see why. Now, anyway, Jack says, well, yeah, I kind of chomped him on his freaking neck. And Yujiro's like, what the heck? Why'd you do that? And Jack is like, you told me to, go for the jugular like a good vampire. And Yujiro's like, oh yeah, I kind of did. Jeez. Still so didn't bite him. That's kind of a cowardice move. And Jack is like, yeah, whatever. And Deku's like, so as you see, I have scars too. I was pushed through the past pain. I was pushed through all that power, or I was pushed through the pain, which then turned into a nice, calming relaxation. It makes me feel better. And Todoroki's like, but you don't understand. This is my father's quirk. And Deku's like, hey, bastard! And basically, he's talking to what's called Endeavor. And he's like, if it's your quirk, then you control it. See if you can try to, use Todoroki's fire. And Todoroki's like, wait, what are you doing? And this is when Deku's like, well, you said that it's your father's quirk. So, if that's the case, then he can use your quirk, or he can do something to your quirk which can use your fire, right? And Todoroki's like, but that's technically not his quirk. Deku says, you see? It's not his quirk at all. It's been yours the entire time. You just let it control you. Todoroki having this inspiration and saying, fine, you win. And Deku's like, alright, let's go. Him now getting even more pumped, using his, how do I say it? Okay, right here. So, him starting to use a charging stance, and basically a Triceratops comes out of his imagination and on real life, basically ready to attack Todoroki. Deku now going at full force, Todoroki using his ice, and basically it's going, but Todoroki can't actually see what Deku's doing because most of the ice is breaking every time Deku takes a step. Most of the ice is now breaking off, and it's breaking and breaking and breaking. This is when Todoroki starts to back up, and Deku breaks through the ice. Todoroki using his fire, and Deku swiping it away at full speed, killing the fire instantaneously while breaking the ice and saying, well, Todoroki, you were pretty good, but right now I gotta fight another certain idiot. And this is when Bakugo sneezes because he's not watching Deku. And this is when Todoroki says, alright, well, I'm going to... This is when Deku just runs up and kicks him so hard in the stomach, he basically throws up and is knocked out. Deku says, alright, I won. I should have not gone overboard. This is when Toga and mostly Toga. Kirishima's right there, her not having to have the... How do I say this? Her not wanting to, talk, or... I forgot what the word is, but I know is she doesn't want to, be seen by everybody kissing Deku. So, pretty much, Toga holds him, grabs him, is on his back, just holding him, says, "I love you." And Deku's like, "Yes, yes, dear, I love you too." And he goes like, that's true love. And Baki's all like, "Yeah, I wonder how he got the inspiration, father." Yujiro's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I plead the fifth." There we go. Deku's like, "We're not in America, we're in Japan." And freaking Yujiro's like, "We're not in America, we're in Japan." What's called? Todoroki is passed out. Deku picking him up, carrying him, and says, "Let's go, Toga." And Kirashima says, "Why does he keep doing that? Shouldn't he know not to, like, do, what's called, go full force?" And this is when Deku is like, "Give me a second here." And he picks up, he puts down Kirashima. No, not Kirashima. He puts down Todoroki, then picks up Kirashima and says, and Kirishima's like, "What are you doing? Let go. This is not fun." And Deku's like, "Yeah, you like it. You're blushing right now." And she's like, "This is embarrassment." And Deku's like, "Well, you're going to have to get through this." And Toga's like, she's like trying to claw her way, but Toga's like picking her up and says, "Nope, you're coming with us still." And she's like, "Wait, guys, but this is not the time or the place to do it." And Deku's like, "I think this is the perfect time to do it." Toga's like, "Yeah." And Deku's like, "President Mike, can you throw me something?" And this is when he throws the mic. It's a freaking Deku. Don't tell me how he managed to do that. And Deku's like, "Listen up, everybody. I have an important announcement to make. I love these two women. These two girls have loved me for quite a while, and I love them as well. Our bond is strong, and one day I'm planning to marry. I'm going to marry the both of these, or these two women." And this is when Kirishima's like blushing already, kind of like how Hinata is, and it's just like dazed. But Toga's like, "Yeah." Deku's like, "Well, oh, she's kind of passed out right now. Kirishima, wake up, wake up, wake up! You're on TV. Just come on." And she wakes up, saying, "What happened? I had a dream that everybody saw something," and she sees everything. Is like, "Oh crap, ah crap!" And the mom is right, and the mom on TV, her mom on TV is like, "Oh, so that's what he's been doing, and that's who's been doing her." And he's like, "Hey, Kirishima," and she says, "Oh, what?" And he basically gives her a kiss, attacking her on the lips, and basically her blushing even more. But this is when Toga says, "Hey, no fair. I want to kiss her as well." Her doing that to Kirishima, and the crowd is roaring in happiness and excitement. And Yujiro's laughing. Deku's like, "This is so funny. I need to take this on camera." Yujiro's like, "Oh, no. This is one for the history books." While that's all happening, Endeavor is mad. Endeavor is mad due to the fact that he lost the bet to Yujiro and has lost the bet while having the competitor being a child. Not only that, a child who's not his blood. That's what's making him mad. So, pretty much that's it. Todoroki is happy now due to the fact that he now is kind of glad for Deku to help him out. He's happy that Deku helped him, and it's basically versing Bakugo. Bakugo already gets on Deku's nerves that time, and he says, "Jeez." Well, because now that's the two of them fighting, and Deku's like, "All right, so what do you want to do, Bakugo? Do you want to fight me, or do you want to, how do I say it? Do you want to fight me, or do you want to just give up? Bakugo says, there's no way I'm going to give up on give up something to some, what's called, amateur like you. Deku says, well, go again. Well, come at me with everything you got. This is when when Deku takes the full force of an explosion and a howitzer impact. Deku grabbing Bakugo and says, you're very weak, but you're strong as well. I commend you on that. Throwing him, because he does feel the pain, but it's not like how his family would, it's not the pain that his family would have used. So he's like, well, I guess I won. Him winning the sports festival, getting first place, and Yujiro, but Baki's happy that he kept his promise. So was Inko. Yuichiro's like, well, the generation is becoming more interesting the more and more days to come. Now, I'm gonna end it off here. So I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, like, comment, and do subscribe to the channel. And not only that, I want you to look at this right here. If you guys aren't understanding what I'm going to say, I actually made my own profile. It's called the Fallout, or Fallout whatever here. I'm the one with the two adorable tigers. I don't have any followers. I'm not following anybody. I just made this on a whim. And oh shit, everybody saw that. Well, you guys know what you guys already saw. But anyway, like I said, do join the Fallout. Do join out my Instagram thing, so that way you guys could talk to me personally. And like I said, I do love talking to people a lot. You guys giving me ideas, me trying to find out how we can make this work. But I still have to do what's called all the older ones first, because a certain person just said, you have 18 what's called stories, finish them. I'm like, okay, mom, okay, don't worry. Are you on your period? No, you're not? Okay, stop, just stop getting mad, all right? But anyway, like I said, it's the Fallout What If here. Bye.